Choices, 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 choices. In some of these choices, the government feels they are entitled to make these decisions for other people. Choices that I'm talking about, these are long lasting decisions. These are, what would you say, basically have major effects basically for the rest of your life.
Yeah, your whole life is now centered around another being. It's not just you anymore. Everything has to change.
By saying that, that would be abortion. So, when it comes down to abortion, are you for it or against it?
I'm for it.
Why?
It's your choice. And unfortunately, although I don't necessarily personally, it's just one of those things where I understand where you could be coming from when you're doing it. Like you can't just be around here being irresponsible and just aborting babies. Not in that irresponsible way, but in the way of
But abortion is abortion, though, right?
abortion is abortion.
Like, personally, me, I'm for abortion. My reasons personally for being for abortion is because, hopefully it's clear that I'm a man, right? And I don't believe a man should have an opinion on what a woman does with her body, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a couple of reasons. Number one, females are the ones that have to carry those babies. Um, Men can't have no periods. Yeah, I know periods don't have nothing to do with it, but I'm saying that like that's a monthly thing. That's a pain every month. Dudes can't sit here and go through that shit. Meaning, men definitely not finna sit here and go through no damn pregnancy. If dudes could get pregnant, there'd be like four people in this goddamn world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some pain. That's some pain. So for a man to sit here and tell a woman how they should go about carrying their body, I don't think that's an avenue for men to be in discussion with. And another thing, like you had said, like when it comes to the, like you said, you can't just be out here doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Just be out here born babies. Yeah, you gotta have some responsibility on the vagina. Like if you don't got no if you don't got no responsibility for the pussy, you just out here fucking everything and doing what you do. I mean, like I said, I'm for abortion, but here's my reasons on for abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Somebody gets raped, you shouldn't be able to force that person to have that child.
I agree with that.
And then if they don't have that child, you're basically sitting here making a victim of a rape, a suspect in a murder, or a suspect in something. Where is the where is the compassion? Where's the compassion?
There is none. It's more about what society says and what society thinks. It's never about the people, the actual individual.
It
Like,
it did like the Christians or the religious people say it's everything happens for a reason or it's God's will or plan. I just don't agree with that. Like, how is it a plan for somebody to be a victim of a rape?
right. And I
Like,
know people that were the product of a rape. And to this day, mentally, that's something that is a bother. So you should definitely have a choice in that because you create people that don't take that so well, mentally can't handle it. And that spurs off a whole another set of issues. Like
hmm.
so that society clearly do not need. So
Right.
once again, you should have the freedom to be able to know what you can mentally be able to handle. It's not even a physical thing, or not even financial. Sometimes it's strictly mental. Mentally, you can't handle certain things, so you just have to do what you have to do.
You know, it's crazy because when I think about the rape shit, and back to the being irresponsible with the pussy and shit, right? If you are out here on going to the club every weekend, you just out here fucking, and you wind up getting pregnant. Yes, abortion should be an option, but honestly, I think that you should be stuck with those consequences.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
basically how it
you
goes.
should be stuck with those consequences. Um, you should have took the precautions. I mean, unless you use a rubber and the rubber broke, then I mean, hey, okay.
Right.
I mean, you did your part, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I think a lot of people like don't realize what comes with sex. It's more than having a wet ass pussy and a hard ass dick. It's busting nothing. You could possibly
Hmm.
get an individual pregnant. Now, what are you gonna do if you don't even want kids off the rip? To begin with, you probably shouldn't even be in that situation.
Exactly.
Not saying you can't enjoy life and have you some fun, but I mean, responsibility is the way to go. First things first, or you should be stuck with that baby. What's some other reasons, or some other ways people get pregnant? Clearly, it all comes down to a sexual act. But you have the rape. Um, and when I say rape, I know rape is rape, but I want to break down the rapes real quick, right?
Hmm.
You got that walking down the street, or you just got that random I never seen this motherfucker before rape. Then you got that in house or family wise type shit. Daddy daughter, daddy niece, whatever for the case may be. That's still rape.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it's a different kind of rape because rape is rape. How would you sit here and even go about that?
Right.
I mean that's family abuse type of thing. I don't know how to label that. Like I said, rape is rape, but it's a different. I mean, it's different when your uncle sits here and walks in your room and fucks you in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Number one, the trust factor is gone. Number one, you should be there. Well, number two, you're supposed to be protected. You don't think a motherfucker's gonna walk in your room and take advantage of you and shit like that.
Right.
And them things like that, when a motherfucker sit here and gets or that victim sits here and gets pregnant, you cannot force her to have that child.
I totally agree. They should have the right to say no. Like you gotta look at that child and know that was a product of some stuff that you didn't even agree with to begin with. And now you gotta sit here and take care of something that came from something that you don't agree with for the next however many years and put your life on hold. Like some people cannot handle that mentally. And they need an escape wrap. Otherwise you have people around here, babies getting put in ovens and drowning in car, like just random stuff happening.
Right.
And you have to look at these situations like, yeah, that's hella fucked up, but damn, I get it. Like
Because at the
compassion,
end of
like
the
you
day,
say.
she's still a victim. And you
Exactly.
have to see that shit
Exactly.
every day. The child doesn't have nothing to do with that, but you think about the attachment from where that child come from,
Mm-hmm.
the drama and the trauma of the incident that occurred.
Right.
You're like reliving that shit every
It's a
day.
reoccurrence, like
And
a
I'm
biggie.
not a goddamn rape fucking survivor, but I can just imagine that you have those days and those moments where you just feel insecure
Mm-hmm.
with your security. You know what I'm saying, or just about maybe yourself. Like I don't know, but I know that like let's just say a motherfucker gets raped at a bar,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like every time you go around, like maybe a bar or maybe having some drinks or a certain drink that might you know,
Trigger.
trigger that
Yep.
man, you know what I'm saying? Maybe seeing that Jameson's bottle. You remember maybe getting hit with a Jameson bottle or whatever the fuck. You were drinking
Yeah.
Jameson and you went to sleep and then da 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 da. Bill Cosby's house, shit like that. But yeah, I have to say that's some crazy shit to try to make somebody be a suspect in the crime of breaking laws when they was a victim.
Hmm.
to begin with, and you didn't even take care of the victim.
Exactly.
Before anything, you try to ridicule and prosecute somebody who is a fucking victim.
Right.
And I believe that's wrong, and that's why I can say that's why for abortion. My main reason for abortion is just because I can't contest to how it feels to be in labor for 18 hours, having contractions, and the best thing a motherfucker can do is what, rub your back, let you squeeze my hand or some shit like that, or I mean whatever, like what, give you ice chips or tell you it's gonna be all right. Like motherfucker, at the end of the day, ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Like I'm gonna be real with you, that shit don't matter.
No, it
You
don't
still
matter.
having that pain, you still
Hmm.
all that shit. Fuck them ice chips. Fuck that rubbing on the back when you got a whole ass human finna come at you. And men cannot fathom that. I can't fathom that. I'd be having abortions left and right. Like the fuck? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Like I can't even imagine, like I told you before, I can't even imagine this having a scheduled period every month. You know every month you're gonna be in pain.
Every single month, like
Like
clockwork.
that's crazy. You know every month I'm gonna be in pain. Like I can't deal with that shit. That's too much pressure.
Right.
Cut the pussy off around that time of the month. Like throw the whole pussy away. Like on some real shit. Like
And it really be like that, just how you imagine it. Like, yeah.
yeah, on some real shit. Just yeah, I definitely couldn't imagine going through that shit and still having to go to work and having to deal with motherfuckers and shit like that. Like sometimes I'm an asshole if I don't even have, like, if I don't have no weed, I know I'm gonna be an asshole. So imagine being on my period and not having no weed. I'm catching the case that day.
Impossible.
I'm catching the case. It's that simple. Somebody got fucked up.
For sure.
Somebody getting fucked up. But I have to say that's where I'm definitely at when it comes to the abortion thing. Um, Men shouldn't have a say so in that. Period. Point blank. That's a woman's world, woman's body. Men don't understand. We will never understand. Um, and yeah, and that's what it comes down to. It should be a choice of. I kind of just want to leave it like honestly at victims. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of want to leave it at, like, I don't want to leave it at like you go cheat on your husband and you got pregnant and you trying to hurry up and do something.
No, definitely none of
Nah,
that. None of that.
nah.
None of that.
But
The responsible.
if you do, it should still be your choice to do so at
Yeah.
the end of the day. But there's no buts. That should still be your choice at the end of the day. But you should have just been responsible with your pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have just like been responsible with your pussy. So that's where I'm at when it comes to that right there. Um, yeah, it should just be victims though. It
I
should just
agree.
be victims. Do you know what the max crime is for that?
No,
For
I don't.
abortions? I don't. But I know Alabama is trying to go hard on that shit.
Yeah, they real big on that over there.
And you would think for a state, no disrespect to my Alabamians though. I actually love Alabama. Uh, but you would think for a motherfucking state who got a reputation for motherfuckers fucking cousins, you would think that they would be pro. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like the fuck?
They got an image to maintain, so they just trying to,
Man, I'll tell you, that's some crazy shit. Oh man, that's some crazy shit. And who else be trying to get them abortions though? It comes back with that irresponsible shit. But let's go over this real quick. Parents with their child who's not grown yet. You
mm,
know, you got you a little 14-year-old or a 13-year-old, because I know grown who had their first kid at 13. You know
oh,
what I'm saying? 13 years old. And the dude be like fucking 21 or some shit.
wow,
Like, number one, he's a rapist.
literally.
Um, Seriously, you're a rapist, bro. Like, that's why I really tell a motherfucker, like, you was a whole ass rapist in these streets. Like, what did you find attractive about the 13-year-old pussy? What? Like, how would you feel if somebody fucked your 13-year-old daughter though? Like,
Right, the confusion of it all.
yeah, like you got me fucked up. I like old bitches. Like, I like motherfuckers who's down there getting ready to die in a couple years type shit. Maybe not that old, but old enough to where the fuck that we can get a discount if we went to Denny's. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But you know what I mean? Like shit. Or old enough to where we get that parking lot pimping, pull up, and you know how many times you go to Walmart, all the spots is in the back, and there'll be like a few handicap spots right there. Like just
Yeah,
imagine if you had that placard right there.
man, you pulled up one
Right
time every
there.
time.
Especially when it's raining and shit, you just in and out, in and out. Like
Big facts.
goddamn. I'd rather start park right here to put my blue rag in the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, crippin' is crippin', ain't it? But parents should be able to make that choice, right? What if a child wanted? What if a 14-year-old want to keep their child, and the parent was like, "Get the fuck out of here." What should happen in that situation?
That's tough. That's tough. And the reason why, I mean, look at the situation, it would have to come with some kind of standards. Like, what's the maturity level? Like, where you at in life? Like,
You would,
I don't.
so you would, where would your daughter have to be for you to allow that shit to happen?
She wouldn't have to be nowhere because I'm not.
You not going.
No, no, no,
Mm.
no.
I mean, me personally, at that point, I'm trying to abort my daughter and that baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to abort two motherfuckers for the price of one. You feel me?
Right.
Shit.
So like, yeah, I don't know if 14 is mature enough
Fuck no, it ain't
to
mature
make
enough.
that kind
Like
of decision.
14, like what
Like
do you know at 14, especially in today's world? The
you in
Wi-Fi
that situation,
password?
right? You in that situation because you're 14, think you know it all and don't know nothing, like
You know what's
at
crazy?
all.
14, let's talk about 14, right? It's 2021, right?
Hmm.
Let's talk about 14 in 2021 and 14 from 1971.
Oh man, big
Not
difference.
even sexual wise,
No,
maturity, but maturity wise. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, growing up like 14, like back in the day, motherfuckers was on their shit.
they 14-year-old back in the day could literally take care of a whole household as if it was 30 years old married with a husband and kids to take care of. Like I know for personal, my mom, she was that way, 13, 14. She feeding a family of six every night. She had to know what she was cooking for dinner, make sure it was enough to hold it. Like she could literally
Yeah,
run
14.
at 14, literally. Literally, she would be in the kitchen cooking for the whole entire family.
And that's how it was
And
back
that's
then.
how it was.
Routine shit, like that was nothing.
Literally.
Today, you can't, it's a
It's,
different
it's
ball game.
It is very different. It is so much different than back in the day. And it's a terrible different. Like, it's a terrible different because some of the stuff that they used back in the day, you need to bring back to now. That's a whole lot of the problem. Like, these parents acting like they scared, and now all of a sudden the kids can go and call police. It's like just a whole different world. This generation of kids is just different.
Can't even whoop your kids these
No, that's
days.
what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
like you have
I
to
mean,
be
they can't. If I'm going
right.
to whip ass, I'm going to whip ass.
Period.
Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I tell motherfuckers, you whoop your kids now or somebody going to whip them niggas later.
And kids take advantage of that. Like they really do. Be throwing their parents all up under the bus, the whole just a bunch of stuff.
Throw me under that motherfucker.
A bunch of stuff. And
And
so
when a
parents be
truck come,
scared.
throw me under that motherfucker too. And in the meantime, you still finna get this ass whooping.
Right.
The fuck? And I'm gonna go into the courtroom and yes, how many black motherfuckers have you sentenced for doing some dumb shit?
Hmm.
Huh? Now I'm just trying to protect mines right now.
That's to.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody coming home drunk whipping ass. No, it's you fucking up. You finna get this lesson.
Period.
I got plenty of ass whoopings, and I needed every single one of them motherfuckers. Cause I was shit when I sit there and think back on, I got some fucked up ass whoopings, right? And I
Hmm.
think about the shit that I was doing. Some of the shit that I was doing, I could have went to prison for that shit.
Right.
Like one of my ass whoopings that I got. Um, the throwing the rocks in the street. at the cars that was driving by, right?
Mhm.
Let's just say one of those rocks hits the window shield, breaks the window shield, maybe somebody crashes, and that's on me now.
Right.
That's a whole ass manslaughter or something. It's something bad.
Right.
It ain't just no vandalism.
Not at all.
So that ass woman that I received was crucial. I felt that motherfucker last night. You know what I'm saying? I still, when I see rocks, I think about that ass whooping.
A lasting effect.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I see rocks, like even when the kids pick up rocks, I'm like, nah, uh.
And that's the benefits of a good ass whoop because you're gonna think twice before you sit up there and pick up
Uh-huh.
another rock.
Yeah, I don't want to pick up no rocks. No rock cocaine, no rocks on the ground,
Nothing.
no pop rocks, no rocks.
As it should be. That's effective ass whooping.
It was an effective
That's not
ass whooping.
abuse. No, none of that. That is effective.
I think
Yes,
it's abuse for you not to whoop your kids.
it is because you end up raising something that you can't
Are you even
control,
raising?
society can't control, like none of that. No.
Right. Now you got, because you didn't want to discipline your kid. Now he's over here fucking over Miss Johnson down the street because this motherfucker don't know no better. Well, knows better, but you didn't put that. Everybody knows
Right.
better. Everybody knows better. I don't give a fuck what kind of household you come from. Everybody knows better. I don't give a fuck. I
Right.
don't give a fuck. Um, you know it's wrong. If you don't have a key to get in that house,
Hmm.
nobody opened the door and said, "Come in."
Right.
You know you shouldn't be there.
Right.
How do motherfuckers get in your house? Not through the back window like you went
Mm.
through Miss Johnson shit.
Right.
So, motherfucker, you know right from wrong. I don't give a fuck how deprived you are. You don't know what the fuck Miss Johnson's situation is down the street. She could be just as fucked up as you. There's hella people who got a household and they just one check away from not being in that household. You don't know what the fuck she got cracking, but yeah, you take it upon yourself to go and do that shit and yeah, you knew that was wrong. That's why you snuck in through the window. That's why you
Right.
kicked the door down. That's why when you went in there you was quiet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sneaky.
You knew right from wrong. So beat your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like them small things can be big things later. And if you don't want to be seeing the motherfuckers through a visit them through a grave or through some other fucking prison far away and seeing them through no court and all this other shit, you gotta fuck them kids up.
Got to.
Like fuck what the police say. You know what I mean? I couldn't be the police. Let me
Hmm.
be the police and I get a call to a house because a parent called I mean because a child called the police on their mama or their daddy. I get to the scene. This motherfucker's all belligerent. He got a whooping and I'm gonna see if I got some stickers to give to the parents. Y'all some
Right.
awesome motherfuckers right here. Like, yeah, you needed that ass whooping. Well, what did you do? You know, like you needed that discipline and you got that discipline. And that's all, folks. Like, and that's why I leave it at. Like, you wanted your ass whooped. You needed your ass whooped. You deserved that ass whooping. That's what a parent gonna do. Abuse is like I said. You got you in a like a drug addict parent, an anger problem parent,
Hmm.
alcoholic parent. As soon as they touch that bottle of that drink, they just get straight to fucking with you for nothing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, absolutely nothing. That's abuse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you just walk up and just start beating on your kids for absolutely no motherfucking reason, that's abuse. Um, yeah, like that's the shit. I don't condone that shit clearly. Like, no, negative. You do something wrong, something of that's worth a ass whooping. I don't think everything's worth an ass whooping.
Right.
Like a bad grade, not an ass whooping. Um, there's just plenty of shit that I just don't see deemed ass whooping worthy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just how I see it. So to wrap all that up, I'm for the abortion. You for the abortion.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe if some of y'all whoop y'all kids, they won't have to worry about this abortion game. in other trials and tribulations that come with that shit. But I think a lot of these states, though, to get back to the main point, I think a lot of these states need to be in tune with the people,
Right.
in tune with the victims. Like just be in tune with the victims. Period. Point blank. Cause that's like you said, that's how you gonna have these motherfuckers doing that crazy shit, having these babies, putting them in the motherfucking But you know what? I got one thing though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it before we end this off? One more question. In a lot of states, they have this. You could drop your child off at the emergency room
Well, like the
or the
fire station,
firehouse
yeah.
with no questions asked, no repercussions, right?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't doesn't that kind of eliminate the I can justify? You know how you said I could see how you I get it how you put the motherfucker in the oven. Da, 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 da. Doesn't that kind of wipe that out when all you had to do was drop this young whatever off at the firehouse and just leave?
It does. It does. And then it's not even an excuse, but then it goes back to that whole mental capacity thing. Like a stable minded person can make a mature decision because that's a hard thing. Even good, bad, indifferent, when you're thinking about having to make that kind of decision, that's a tough decision to have to make. But to be level headed enough to say, okay, I can't handle this too much. I need to just do this before something happens. Okay, but then you talk about somebody who is already reached a breaking point. Like,
Yeah, but a breaking point insanity, I think I didn't reach breaking points. I'd have been fed up with a lot of shit. Fuck the world,
mm-hmm,
but it never dawned on me. I could throw a baby in the fucking oven.
right.
That's kind of fucking when I could just go to the nearest fire department, which is probably going to be on every other block ish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or an emergency room. Like I don't think a breaking point and putting a kid in the oven is two different things. I say so in my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
My word ain't law, but like even what you said, I can't handle this. Da, da, da. Cool. All you need to do is you can't handle that. Cool. Don't be evil as fuck
Right.
and weird as hell. Like an oven, like, and that shit really happens. Motherfuckers be decapitating they kids and shit. Like, just drop them off at the fire. What's we call a place? You don't got no charges. You're not finna sit here and go to prison. None of that shit.
Yeah.
It's a lawful act, and I mean, you gonna save you money on your gas bill, buy that oven, and all types of shit. Like I'm saying though, so yeah, I think that's where I don't have compassion for that victim
Mm-hmm.
because my thing is to be a victim, you need to have some type of compassion, right?
Right.
Um, if you were to get raped, it hurt. It didn't hurt, but you've been violated. Doesn't matter. You've been violated. Period. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So to put somebody in the oven, don't you think that's just as violating? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The baby didn't rape you. Yeah, I can understand. You could be on some fuck that baby shit. That comes from well, shit. Hell, what if you was a goddamn daughter of a goddamn Klansman and you got raped by a black guy or some shit or a Puerto Rican and fuck this and like I mean you still ain't gotta put that motherfucker in the oven.
Right.
Drop that little mixed motherfucker off at the firehouse and put a sign on the motherfucker that reads nigger baby and then go on about your motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Dear baby.
right, like I guess that's what Klan people would do. I mean, I would. Like, I definitely would put a sign on that said nigger baby if I was in the Klan. Like, I told you, if I was in the Klan, that'd be my favorite word. It's nigger baby. And this nigger. Like, how you doing, nigger? And it wouldn't even be a racist thing. It's just I love the ER at the end of it. Nigger, nigger, nigger. But anywho, yeah, that's where I stand on that right there, nigger. Um it's gonna be stuck in my head all day. But most definitely drop me a comment. Let me know where do you stand on abortions? Are you against it? If so, why are you against it? And if possible, can you give me a question, not a question, but an answer when it comes to when I said about being a victim of a rape, things like that? Why do you think that person should still have to carry that baby and take care of that baby? Number one, they didn't put themselves in that situation to have that baby, yet alone even give consent. So I don't think they should have to have the right or the burden of taking care of that child, period, point blank. But that's just me. But like I said, drop me a comment most definitely. Let me know what you think.